And we're gonna roll. We're gonna roll, baby. All
Here
right.
we are.
Ready?
Did you just fart?
What?
Did you just fart?
No, I did not fart.
I'm sorry.
Why would you accuse me of that, you fucking cunt?
I don't know.
I think, you know what I think you are?
What?
I think you're what Jar Jar Binks was supposed to be in the Star Wars movie, where
What?
it's like you pretend to be an idiot, but you're secretly trying for control of this podcast.
You think Jar Jar was secretly trying to control?
That was his character arc. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was supposed to be like a Sith Lord.
Oh, okay. I thought he was comic relief.
Yeah, but he was supposed to be like an evil, like an evil genius.
Yeah.
And actually, the actor who played Jar Jar tweeted about that. He was like, "It's nice," because there's like a fan theory. The actor was like, "It's nice when people know," because he was just he was getting ready to play this like evil guy,
right? But
and now he's he just had to be the retarded part. And he's bummed.
Yeah. I don't know,
Yeah.
man. It sounded like a fart, and I just
It wasn't
had
a
to-
fart. The chair squeaks.
Okay.
First of all,
It sounded like a fart.
don't undermine me in front of the listeners, okay?
Right. Have great would
Maybe
Jar
I
Jar
did.
have
Maybe
been?
I did fart. This is my fucking house. I painted the room. I built this
I
studio.
shut the. It's
I
like
built
it
this
seemed
show.
like a power move though, because you shut the door and then
A power move?
Yeah,
You'll
yeah.
know when I'm doing a power move.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. How much better would a Jar Jar been if he just said like anti-Semitic things in that voice?
I don't know. Maybe.
You could picture it.
But that was the whole reason he like became a senator, because he was like, you know, an evil genius.
Oh, I
Jar Jar
see.
Binks.
Yeah.
Well, today we're talking about the Jar Jar Binks of the medical field, Elizabeth Holmes.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about a real girl boss today, and we got SallyAnn joining us.
Yeah, she's gonna be.
We
joining
got
us.
old buzzkill whole SallyAnn coming in. You guys said don't get that bitch back on your show, and you know what? Nobody fucking tells me what to do.
Yeah, you know
So-
what, guys? Is this your
Oh,
lane?
and there she is. Hey, we just started. The door was locked.
You're like, come right in. I'm like, the door's
What door was locked? Oh, Maria
Which
locked the
door?
door.
Oh, yeah,
Maria
yeah,
locks.
yeah.
We don't lock our doors around here. I don't know.
Literally, we've only been going 2.5 minutes.
2.5 minutes. Look at that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Look
you
at the
missed-
new clock we got in here.
Almost done. Right?
Yeah. You missed
Sex.
a hot
Hey.
Jar Jar Binks.
Did you see? Are you a Star Wars fan?
In a normal amount.
Yeah.
Of
Sure.
ways.
That's
Yeah.
the
Like I
right
have
amount.
sex.
Yeah.
Like like-
yeah.
Remember Jar Jar Binks?
The right amount.
Do I remember him?
So
That was like a very racist character, right?
Everyone
Because I went back
in
and
the
I was like, oh, this is striking some chords. I didn't really.
Whoever wrote him definitely
Yeah,
had a little
but-
bit of racism in their art.
George Lucas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody in the Star Wars universe is racist.
You're right. Mhm.
I mean, in Phantom Menace, there's basically like a Jew character.
Yeah.
He's like little and he flies around and he loves money.
Okay.
George Lucas.
I gotta go back and watch these now. I'm like, oh, now that
I know what to look for.
Yeah. It's like it's
the
like a
little
good
racist
movie now.
Easter eggs. Yes.
No, there's a character in the Phantom Menace. He drives an empty school bus through Brooklyn and fucking blocks traffic so nobody else can. So your Uber's late for everything. He does a fucking K turn on Myrtle Avenue. Yeah, it's pretty old, but I think you'll be okay. All right. SallyAnn's here, and like I said before, you know, you guys tried to scare her away. You guys tried to say, get that fucking hole off the show.
A hole,
You know?
thank you.
Jeez
Shout out
Louise.
to
And she's
Hungry
back.
Husky 69 real quick before we begin. Fuck you, fuck your mom, fuck your whole fucking
damn.
family. You're such a fucking ugly fat piece of shit. I hope that you die in the worst
know
way
about that.
imaginable. No, I'm this.
But we do want your
that guy,
$5.
That guy's a $3 subscriber.
It's a $3 subscriber. You can take.
Can't talk to our customers that way.
You piece of shit. I hate you. But seriously, you're a bad person, and I wish bad things for you. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is her mic a little loud?
No, that was just the heat
just,
of the moment.
that's just my
I got
opinion.
it in post.
You sure?
Yeah, I mean, you can do what you just did,
You
but
just
now
said
it's
it.
now it's
Okay.
like not on.
Now you're truly silencing the only female voice in the room.
Good.
Yeah, I would put it back to where it was.
Yeah, I think back to where it was is great.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
a little
yeah.
louder, but your mic was a little hot on my
Yeah.
ears.
Okay. Well, anyway, who's that?
Shelby,
Oh, okay.
sorry, I can't talk right now. Thank God for these auto responses.
That's really cool of him to not take this call during the podcast.
Who's Shelby? Who the fuck is
My
Shelby?
lady.
His lady.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that we were all just bringing in our significant others here.
Yeah, I didn't.
You want me
try
to talk about my Harvard boyfriend? I can. He went to Harvard
He's Italian. He went to Harvard.
for theater.
Are you serious?
Good for him.
Yeah.
Nice. Fucking Harvard boy
Yeah.
for theater.
Love you, babe. He's a waiter.
Yeah, you picked the winner. Anyway, did you watch the Fyre Fest documentary?
I watched the Hulu one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I watched them both, and I was like, should we do a thing about this? But I just thought it was kind of, I thought it was a little boring.
What, as soon as I saw the first one, I'm like, yeah, I think I get it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to go,
Yeah.
what else went wrong, though?
Yeah,
More
yeah.
specifically. Like, and I was
Right.
like, yeah, he's in.
Did
Yeah.
you get to see so the Hulu one was the guy that sucks the dick to keep the festival going?
That was a Netflix one.
That's the Netflix one. So you, I mean, like
well,
you
he
missed
doesn't
like
suck the dick. He was ready to suck the dick.
right,
Yeah.
right. And then Billy was on the Hulu one because they paid him, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And that was
That guy
was
who
awesome.
was ready to suck. We like to call him like the Matt Anderson of Fire Festival.
Yeah. Mike's like, you need to keep this podcast afloat.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, I just feel like Mike always is like, no, now it's the time. And Matt's like, oh, I'm going to finally do it. And then every time you go, nah, just kidding. But I like that you're ready.
Right.
Yeah.
I gotta go suck
cruel.
Apple's dick.
I mean, look, the thing,
Get the show 5-star ratings.
the thing is, most homosexual men like to perform oral sex, but that is cruel to make somebody do that.
Yeah, it's like rape.
Yeah. Not nice. He should have made Ja Rule go suck the guy's dick.
Yeah.
Ja Rule should have been like, hey, I'm here to suck your dick. Anyway.
Yeah, dude. He was getting drug after
So-
that doc came out.
Well, Ja Rule.
Ja Rule, yeah. Because he's like still on social media and people are like, "Oh, you're so stupid, bitch."
Yeah, I know, of
I was
course.
like, "That's false
Is that what you
advertising."
said?
Yeah, I tweeted at Ja Rule too.
Yeah, finally now I can cyberbully the person who's in the limelight again. Honestly, I think he's just happy to be talked about.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I'm glad I rooted for 50 Cent in that conflict too. You know, I was
you
team
always know how to bet.
I was team 50.
Yeah.
Forever. Anyway, so I watched this documentary and I was like, I don't think there's really anything here. This isn't that interesting. I remember the story when it came out, and but they briefly mentioned our girl boss bitch, glass ceiling shatterer, Elizabeth Holmes of Theranos, and
Elizabeth Ann Holmes.
Oh, that's her middle name?
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Elizabeth Holmes.
And I was like, we should do an episode about this. I was like, we should take a little deep dive into that company and what was going on, and because she seemed pretty cool.
Theranos, right? Not the fire team.
Not Thanos.
Not Thanos. Theranos, a mixture of therapy and what
Diagnosis.
else?
Yeah. So
Good
anyway, so the story starts at the beginning. Elizabeth Holmes went to Stanford and she dropped out at the age of 19, and she was like, you know what? I don't want to be a mechanical. I think she was studying mechanical engineering.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to start my own company, and it's going to be called, I think it was originally called like Patent Cures or something.
Yeah,
or like
yeah,
simple
real-time cures.
Yeah. That's why healthcare shouldn't be a business, man.
And I want to say that she used her student loans as the seed money for the startup company. So
Oh, she did?
not what it's for, Elizabeth Holmes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I'll have to talk to her about that.
Yeah. She definitely does seem like
A schemer from the beginning. There's like, you sent me that
What do you mean
fucking
by
article. Like, she tried to invent a time machine when she was a kid with like schematics and
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
did
she-
she do it?
No.
Yeah, she did. She time traveled.
Maybe she did. We
Um,
don't know.
Yeah.
But then she also would play
Time machine.
like,
Would you go future or past?
Oh, time machine? Definitely past.
Yeah.
If you're, I would go past.
Yeah.
just to monkey around and try to fix the future, or
Yeah, I guess I would go to a different place in time where I wouldn't think that I would affect anything. I wouldn't want to go anywhere.
I'd go back
Yeah,
to
yeah.
September 12th, 2001 and just do high school all over. I'd be the king of my high school. It's September 12th, and it's leather jacket Mike. I'd bring my. If there's one thing you can bring back in the past, it'd be my leather jacket.
Nice.
And I'd be like the coolest kid in school.
Have you seen that Human Giant sketch where they make a time machine and go back to like September 12th, but just for like Crystal Pepsi?
That's funny.
They're like you and only. He's like, yeah, man, I love Crystal Pepsi. It's so stupid.
That wasn't an original idea that I had. Wait, when did Crystal Pepsi come out?
That was like late 80s or early 90s or something crazy like that. Like a long time ago.
Yeah.
Oh, was that you just making up something?
No, it's a Human Giant sketch. It's exactly
They
what I
went back
said.
to September 12th, 2001
One, yeah. Instead of
for Crystal Pepsi.
yeah, or for Pepsi Clear. I forget. Clear Pepsi.
Pepsi Crystal.
Yeah.
Ooh, I do believe it was Crystal.
Mhm.
Does it check out?
I have a phone in front of me and I'm just not
Well,
looking
because
at
she
it.
said it was 80s. No, it doesn't really make sense, but that's all right. Let's just move on.
Okay.
I'm disbanding the show next month. So it starts off, Elizabeth Holmes, she goes to Stanford. Now, as a kid, she was a very precocious child, which is a word that I learned this week. I looked it up on dictionary.com. If you Google search words, it just gives you the definition.
Okay, write that down.
Nice.
Precocious.
Precocious, what's the definition?
You
What
want me
did
to
you
spell
find?
it?
Yeah. Precocious.
PRECOCIOUS.
Now use it in a sentence.
Mike Recine was a very precocious boy.
The same.
Okay,
He
now
was-
now in a less heteronormative way, please. Just to see if you can do it.
SallyAnn was a precocious girl.
Oh shit.
Just
There we go.
Here's the thing. I don't
All
know if you're
past
right because you
tense.
haven't defined the word yet.
yeah.
SallyAnn was a very precocious girl. She was able to, from a young age, she was able to.
Oh man, our listeners are dying to know what's the
No.
word mean.
I am too.
I said what it means. It means advanced.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't. No, I didn't say what it meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it means mentally advanced.
Oh, then no, that is inaccurate what you said about me.
About you.
I
Yeah.
dropped out of high school. Shout out.
Did you?
GED, motherfucker.
Nice.
Thank
you
you.
went back.
Well, no, I just went to
Equivalent style.
college for women's studies. So, like you tell me.
Wait,
Yeah.
why'd you drop out of high school?
Because I bullied and I hated it.
Oh no.
I ran away from home.
I was hoping you'd start your own
In
company.
Idaho?
In Idaho, I went to Montana, motherfucker.
So you
Nice.
were like the only theater kid in your high school, and you were like, I
was the least cool theater kid
What
in
did you
my
get
high
bullied
school.
for? Okay. You got bullied by other theater nerds.
Yeah, that
No.
honestly, I remember being like legit afraid to talk to the band kids. Like the band kids were like
Wow.
way too cool
Yeah,
for
but
me.
band kids are very like territorial. They're
They-
very
Those
territorial.
were
and
nerds in our school.
I fucking hated the band kids. I spent 1 year in marching band, and there's a kid that I still wanna
Yes.
I wanna fight him.
No, they think they're
Yeah.
better than you, and
They
I'm like,
think
oh,
they're
I'm
better
sorry
than
that you
you.
play a different kind of flute
Yeah.
than the other person.
So
Fuck
why,
off.
why
I
were
don't
you
know.
bad in band?
They have a chin strap, which is the worst
They
facial hair.
carry around their equipment.
And I remember too, there were two
like, we
kids. There
get
were
it,
two
you have
kids.
hobbies.
Yeah, there were two kids in marching band. One played tenor saxophone. I think the girl played like French horn or something. And they would like make. They were both. They were two of the most unattractive people I've ever seen, and they would like just make out all the time.
Yuck.
They're probably having sex. Yeah.
Here's the thing. That's where their like territorial and confidence came from, because the fact that they were sexually active way before a lot of the drama kids.
I don't
Because we
feel
were all
like-
gay. Well, now I look back, I'm like, oh, none of us were fucking because all the women were like horny and all the guys were gay.
Okay.
But I was like really religious, and that's why I got made fun of, because I was like a weird Christian girl.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, our
Anyway.
band kids weren't fucking cool kids at all. They were just nerds.
Were you?
We had jobs.
No, but-
I was in choir, and then we were nerdier.
I was in choir. Yeah, I
than
see you. Oh,
band.
see,
yeah.
you should have been gay then.
Right. I know.
I was.
I don't know what happened.
I was also in choir.
You are?
Oh yeah. They needed guys.
Were you a tenor?
Honestly, this is
or,
actually all checking out my
and-
theory.
Were you a tenor or were you?
I was
Baritone.
Baritone.
I
Thank
was.
you.
I think I was a baritone.
Your
Yeah, 'cause
baritone is
tenors were
fuck.
higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, tenors
Right.
were higher.
Were you a tenor?
I was definitely a tenor.
You
And-
were so excited to say, like, were you a tenor? Oh, that's crazy because
Second, I wasn't like
oh.
the high one. I was like a second tenor.
I used to be a soprano, and then I smoked for 10 years, and now I have this voice. And now I'm like a tenor. I am actually a tenor.
Because to make it work with my schedule, I had to take B-level history. So I was in B-level history with all the
Wait, you sacrificed
undesirables.
You
Yeah.
sacrificed history so you could be choir, because
So I could be
that's
in
how much
choir.
you loved it?
I just wanted to be in the choir, I guess. Yeah.
What
I
was
liked
your
it.
favorite
They
song?
asked me to join.
Of course, they need good male
Nice.
singers.
We did.
They recruited
we
you.
sang a Celine Dion song that when you
Nice.
you want it the most, there's no easy way. But then the baritone.
ready to go.
Yeah. But then the baritone part was like, when you want it the most, there's no easy way out. When you're
not the
ready
melody
to
at all.
go
Yeah.
and your heart's left in doubt, don't give up on your faith. Love comes to those who believe it, and that's the
way it is. Where were
Yeah.
you, Matt? Fuck you.
We
You
sang
pra-
Casey and JoJo. I don't know about that. We sang All My Life.
We are now a
Yeah,
gay
yeah.
podcast, everybody.
Honestly, I'm like, you were in choir. Prove it.
Casey and JoJo, like the
Yeah,
and
all
all
my
my life. Yeah.
for some like you.
That was a good song.
Yeah.
We sang old Southern spirituals sang by black choirs that it was
Yeah.
like, and they were like,
Yeah, the
and she was
whitest
and she's like
choir.
looking out, and we're like looking out. She's like, no, you gotta be like look, and they were like all the isms, and we couldn't do it, and because
Right.
it was like 99% like white town.
That's
There was
so
like one
funny.
black girl in our choir, and she hated everybody else.
Yeah.
There was a girl in my 8th grade class who wouldn't stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes, I love those kids.
Yeah, her name was like Tynetta, and she was like 6 feet tall, and she just wouldn't stand up. And I was like, "What?
It's for
I was
it
like,
was for
"What are
like
you
atheism.
doing?"
What was she standing up
She
for?
was black, and she was like, "This country enslaved my people." And I remember,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow, way ahead of her fucking time.
Yeah.
Kaepernick, shit.
yeah.
Oh, we had like a guy, but he just had
And
really
she was
long
a
hair.
she was a linebacker. So she played a
She
different
kneels.
position. Yeah.
She took off her helmet and
She's-
knelt for the pledge.
I think we had people protesting when we took out Under God.
I'm like, Tynetta, why don't you stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Like, I got diabetes. It's not even a political statement. She just can't get up.
Dude, Tynetta
Man, I don't stand for nobody. I don't stand for none of y'all.
Tynetta
I lost
sounds
a
like
foot.
an XFL name.
Tynetta?
Yeah, I remember I was like, he hate me. And,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. That was actually slightly racist on my part.
Yeah, it was
oh,
a
I
little
think
bit.
more than
Get out of here,
slightly.
Ugh.
But now, by looking back on it, that's like cool. But I remember going home.
And just being like,
Yeah.
I hate these angry black women. What do they have to be so
Snitch.
angry about?
What is their fucking problem, huh?
Yeah.
What is their problem?
You were making your dad proud when
Yeah.
you
He's
came
like,
and told
that's
him
my
that.
mic.
Yeah. Good job. Good job. Now, take your retarded bro to the park, please. So I can think about killing myself. Anyway, so Elizabeth Holmes. So that's a funny story. So she made a drawing of a time machine when she was a kid, and I think like it just goes to show you like her upbringing, you know, because I'm sure her parents were like, oh wow, this is such an extensive, which anybody. She's not the first person to think of a time machine, to have the idea for time machine.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
But at 7, that's pretty advanced.
I'm sure Mike had his
Is
own
it?
little drawings of a time machine.
Well, here's the thing. Let's see.
Something
Here's,
I'll tell you what year I
Wait.
want to go back to.
wait, can we see these fucking drawings? Because honestly, unless I see them,
Mom,
that's
look. Mom, did you know in 1962 in the antebellum South? That's just all I want to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I went back to the Stonewall riots. Okay. Anyway, what are we talking about?
Yeah,
What is the antebellum South?
that's like the really bad part.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
It's-
tell
No.
me.
I don't know.
You used
Anyway,
it.
I'm from Alaska.
Write in,
I
let
don't know
us know.
any of them.
Yeah,
Any of the
okay.
southern fucking
What
bullshit.
a precocious use of the word. Antebellum.
see that, by the way?
Oh.
That's a cough. I still came into work today.
Oh, wow. He's
Um,
dogging me. That's fine.
Yeah, Matt called in sick last night. He had a rash and a cold.
I didn't want to get anybody else rashy.
Couldn't come to work.
Should I leave? You guys have stuff to work out. Honestly.
Yeah, we do kiss before the podcast.
Wait, so
Yeah.
the
Who cares? Okay. So anyway, let's fast forward to Elizabeth Holmes and what her company was doing. So fast forward to maybe like I don't know
2003.
2003 she forms her company, and then what she promises to do is to have blood testing, and instead of drawing large amounts of blood from your body, she's like, all you'll do with my product is you'll prick your finger and do at-home blood testing, and what you can, and then eventually you'll be able to upload those results right to your doctor.
Right.
And
like the whole prick of the finger came from her being like afraid of needles as a kid. So like,
yeah,
as well as like the whole like using one droplet of blood to test 240 different things.
She saw your dick and she was like, I'm afraid of needles.
How dare you? I was just a child. It's not my fault.
The time I saw Matt Anderson's dick, I realized I was afraid of needles. And I was like, there should be a better way to get blood out of people.
Yeah, dude.
Anyway, so basically, I don't know much about the medical field, but when you take blood out of somebody, you need to do blood work. You need to take a lot of blood out. It's got to be done in a lab. And she was like, no, you'll just prick your finger. And we found it. We have the technology. Look at me. I have a black turtleneck. And everybody was like on. It seems like everybody was on board right away.
Well, they said she used tactics of flattery, which actually is something a secret women have been keeping to ourselves for a long time. If you tell a man he's real big and real smart, then he'll go, okay, here's my money.
Yeah, right.
And so, well, I mean, basically,
have you done that? That's fucked up.
Oh, hell yeah. A guy, I signed a guy's lap for $500.
Oh,
wow.
You know what? Like
That's
2 months ago, like I let a blind guy touch my boobs for $200.
How do you know? Okay.
How'd I know he's blind? Because he took out his eyes.
How did you?
Because my friend has a job cutting up cocaine for blind. He's super rich.
You took
he's
money
like
from a blind man, you
insanely rich.
scumbag? Okay.
He's insanely rich. My friend's job is to cut up
the
his
guy in front
cocaine.
of my grocery store that just walks around with a cane. He's like, spare $1.
$200 is $200, Mike. It doesn't matter if you can see.
If I was blind, I would have tried to give you $200, but it would have just been 2 crisp $1 bills.
That happened recently?
Like a couple months ago.
Oh, but you weren't with your boyfriend at the time.
I mean, I was. Who cares?
You were.
I might have been.
Yeah, with the
doesn't matter.
Yeah, I wouldn't get mad at my girlfriend if she made like
I was like,
a quick
Ben.
$200.
He's like, get back out there and make some more money.
Yeah.
He just the next time you come home, he's wearing like a yellow suit. Yeah. Anyway, I got to say, we talk about tracksuits a lot on this show. I bought a hoodie and then I bought pants with it. And let me tell you something. I think tracksuits, they're a little goofy. I think you got to go different. You got to go different top, different bottom if you're going to do the athleisure thing.
Wow.
It's too matchy. Tracksuits are too matchy.
I think the matchy is fancy. I think
no,
especially if it's clean pressed and you have a golden chain, it works. You don't mess with the classics.
It's just really hard for me to sexualize a man in like sweatpants, like
yeah,
you know what I mean?
footies.
Where I'm just like, oh, he seems comfortable. Like
well,
there's
hang
nothing.
around with me for a few more weeks. Let me show you some pictures of my grandfather. Let me show you some pictures of Frank Vincent.
I'm a big fan.
You'll
of the
change your mind.
Tracksuit.
No, you are.
Yeah.
You're not. You're ignoring the point that I just made.
Yeah, you gotta. I get that you have like more choices for fashion there, but I think the gold chain's an accessory that's a part of that.
But I'm saying like it just looks stupid to have like your pants match your jacket.
Yeah, it's all stupid. You shouldn't wear that in public. Okay, so at the age of 9,
Thank you.
Elizabeth Holmes told relatives, according to the Business Insider, that she wanted to be a billionaire when she grew up. No fucking shit. That doesn't like. Why are we trying to make her special?
Yeah,
like she wanted.
And they were like, "Wow, she said that like she meant it."
Yeah, I'm finding this all over the place. Like it's like, oh, she wanted to invent. She had these drawings. Like, what is it? A box with a year on it? Like, what are these fucking drawings you're talking about?
Yeah, what else
like,
did she say?
Just like a person that's like time clock. I don't know. Fuck off.
Yeah. Daddy, I want $1 bazillion. Wow. You
and
know
then
what?
one day she defrauded people.
You'll get it someday.
But in a way.
Yeah. The other thing with her is like, so she's an interesting character because she was like obsessed with Steve Jobs. So she would wear black turtlenecks. He was like her hero, which is funny.
And it's tough because being a woman, she couldn't deny paternity like Steve Jobs could. And so she was like, that one thing.
What do you mean, what's deny paternity?
To be like, that's not my kid. Like Steve Jobs did to his biological kid that was for sure his for like until like he died, basically.
Named like a computer after it, right?
Yeah, he's a romantic. But I'm saying that like if she has, she would have a kid and be like, that's not mine. Like I bet she's that good of a liar.
Right.
Be like, you can't prove that's mine. blood work isn't reliable. I would know.
If you're wearing a turtleneck to work and you're keeping, like, she also kept like the office temperature in like the low 60s. She like kept the office
so she could wear a turtleneck?
so she could wear her turtleneck at work.
Oh, I thought it's to make people more productive, like in some.
Oh, I'm sure maybe that's part of it, but I mean, if she's wearing a turtleneck, you know she's keeping the temperature down.
She was also known to run directly through the screen door when she would lose at Monopoly. So
yeah, I read that.
I really like that they're trying so hard.
So she had like a competitive streak as a kid.
Yeah, but she wanted to own houses and hotels, and I'm like, I bet she was also a cunt during Connect 4. You know?
For sure.
You know, there was a kid that my aunt was friends with. My aunt was friends with his parents, and this kid was like an overachiever who my grandmother like loved. He was like half Vietnamese and half Jewish, and this kid was such a fucking cunt. And we all hated him, but my grandmother like built him up because he played violin. And
Sure.
I really hated this kid.
You
so
fucking
much.
hate band kids.
No, I really do.
Just any fucking
Like, if you carry-
talented
If
child.
you carry a case with your talent
With
in it,
rich
fuck
parents.
you.
Well, what happened? He played violin, and he was like really good at violin. And
Yeah.
he played violin at like the Democratic National Convention on
Okay.
like watching him on TV. This faggy violin, like playing like Amazing Grace or something.
And
I was like, who cares? You know.
And that's
Who
when you became a
cares?
Republican.
He got to
That's
meet,
when I
he got to
became a
meet Bill
Republican.
Clinton.
Yeah. I was like, Grandma, you know what this is, right? This is the pedophile convention. This is where all the rapists are.
Oh man, I
She's
thought you.
like, I don't care.
I thought you were gonna say you got like paired up with this kid in Monopoly.
Well, this is what a cunt this kid was. So I knew him since I was like maybe 10, and we like went to his house in the Berkshires one day, and he had the Ninja Turtles. He had all 4 Ninja Turtle plush action figures, and he like wouldn't let me
This
play.
sounds
with.
like a fucking awesome kid, honestly.
No, he sucks.
You didn't let him play with them. That's fucked
He didn't
up.
let me play with his Ninja Turtles
Well, you're
I
this
only
dirty
I only
fucking
had
kid from New Jersey gonna ruin his
well,
toys.
see, the thing is, I only had one Ninja Turtle. I
That's
didn't
all
have
you
the-
deserve.
Which one?
Which
one
I
was
had
it?
Leonardo. I had
Okay.
Leonardo. But I only had the one. He had the full set.
The leader. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, this is fucking cool. And he was like, no. And then he was playing Connect 4 with my sister. And my sister's like 6 years younger than me. So, yeah, she's probably like 5 years younger than him. And he's playing like Connect 4 with her. And he's beating her. And he's like gloating on Easter.
What a fucking dirt bag.
Yeah. And my sister's just like a sweet, overweight girl who is not that intelligent. And he's like,
So you stepped in and showed this kid what was up.
I wish I did. I wish I could have beat him. At
No,
Connect
you
4.
probably joined him and
He
laughed.
fucking
You're like,
beat my
so.
whole-
You're like,
he
so.
fucking beat
I
my whole family.
Yeah.
He just embarrassed every single. He just, and then he cucked my dad. He fucked my mom in front of my dad. Yeah.
Little Vietnamese kid.
Yeah. Anyway, I think it's funny. So I kind of like the idea of like millennial scams, you know, because like that guy Billy is one of those people, and I feel like, you know, when we look back on like the 1800s, there's the image of like the guy who comes through town with the snake oil and like the slick dress. But I feel like when people look back at scam artists from this time, it's going to be like some millennial in like a cardigan.
Yeah, the high level scams are always
'Cause
the
it's
best.
What?
The high level scams. So
What do
like
you-
there's like low level
The
scams.
high level scams are always the best.
Yeah, so okay, like this guy Billy
Do you
from
just
the fire
form
doc.
words from your head and just hope that no one?
No, versus like your low level scams where you're just stealing metal.
No,
and-
low level scams are awesome. They're victimless.
right.
It doesn't
wait, like
matter.
you mean
Stealing metal? Yeah.
like simple like street cons and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, like
dumb things to
yeah,
get like $20 or a free
yeah,
drink.
flipping a coin on Times Square. Be like,
Right.
I love this city.
Yeah, that's
you know?
cool.
That's
High level
cool.
scams are the worst.
They're
Matt,
the worst.
what the fuck is wrong with you? The
Yeah.
You probably
best.
like Billy McFarland. You probably want model yourself after him.
Yeah, I wish I could do what these
He
guys
accused
do.
me
They
of
go
farting.
to prison for 5 years.
You're probably gonna go jerk off into a turtleneck after this. Scams.
If it gets me somewhere, maybe.
He accused me of farting when the show started.
Yeah.
It's like that. He's like that kind of. But
It
anyway,
just made, there was
Don't
just
you-
a
Nothing gets-
right as he shut the
Nothing-
door. It
nothing
was
gets
just like it
past
seemed
me.
like a power move. I don't know.
nothing gets past me. But anyway, when she started this company, she was like, she had on the board of directors, like, who was that guy? Howard Schultz. He was like the former Secretary of State. I forget what administration it was. Let me
Howard
look that up.
Schultz?
Yeah,
not
she
Howard
had, like,
Schultz.
a
I'm sorry.
Some, like,
What was the guy?
powerhouse.
Charles
George
Schultz,
Harry
George Schultz.
Kissinger, General James Mattis.
Harry Kissinger.
Henry
Yeah.
Kissinger.
Henry Kissinger.
Harry is a nickname for Henry. Fun fact.
Yeah,
that isn't fun.
Harry's a nickname for Henry.
Me and old Harry
Yeah.
go way back.
Yeah, I don't know how she got all those people on the board on her show, but on her company, but she got like James Mattis on there. It just kind of shows you that, like, man, I want to be a stupid rich guy someday. You know,
Yeah,
I just want to have like tens of millions of dollars that I can just throw at people and be like, these millennials are revolutionizing the car insurance industry, and I'm like, honey, get in here. I just lose like $100,000 of me and Deb's money that she earned from
Working hard.
Yeah.
Well, they said like part of her charm, right, was her low baritone voice.
Lower. That's me, Elizabeth Holmes.
And she didn't blink very often. like mentioned in multiple articles how she would seldomly blink.
Can you maybe try to pull up some audio of her, like an interview or something? Yeah. Because they actually said that her voice was possibly a con. They think that maybe her voice was
like she lowered it on purpose.
She lowered it on purpose.
I mean, is that real? Like, here's what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
this one
she
starts
knew.
with Bill
So basically,
Clinton
the
here.
con was that she didn't have the technology. She didn't have the IP. That
she didn't have the technology
that she claimed to have had.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's a little bit of like she thought that she would at some point, and then it never fucking happened?
I think that's what it was.
Like, I don't know.
Maybe,
I don't know if she was like, I'm gonna start a con. Yeah. Like, I really did think that she was like Billy. Like they just got in over their head and they kept lying to stay afloat.
Right. The whole lying thing is like they're like lying to everybody, and it's like they're also lying to themselves.
But I think
This
like
bitch looks delusional.
Who?
Elizabeth Holmes.
Yeah, but I think with that you're giving people too much credit, because like I think Billy McFarland knew that Fire Festival was a scam from the beginning. And he was like defrauding people from the beginning. And
Why
just,
would he go then?
got off on it.
No, why would he go? I don't think he got off on it. I think he just was
It was
in
just what he did.
complete denial of the catastrophe it could be.
Yeah.
Why would he go? Why wouldn't he just like stay home?
Oh yeah, why
and
wouldn't
not-
he take the money and run? Why would he put his face all out there, disappear, take
'Cause you
people's
gotta
money,
keep the
go
con-
to jail?
You got to keep the con going.
But then at some point,
I don't think these people have any kind of positive intentions when they do stuff like this.
Oh, I don't say positive, but like they want to do enough where they don't want to people go, hey, I paid for something. Where is it? They want to give them something.
Yeah, cut enough corners until you're there, type of deal.
Totally.
Hey, so I got an interview of her and Bill Clinton starting this thing off.
Oh yeah, Bill Clinton's so funny. Bill Clinton is really funny.
How old you were? I was 19. You founded this company 12 years ago, right? Tell them how old you were. I was 19.
I love that Bill Clinton's like
Don't worry about
75
the
and
future.
still
We're
so
in good
horny.
hands.
Elizabeth Holmes was
Honestly,
Let me
I
find
couldn't
another
tell which
interview.
one was which. Their voices were so low. That's crazy. That's not a fake voice. That would be stupid.
Right.
That would be dumb. Like, I think that's just
I don't know.
being like,
When you hear it from knowing it might be a fake voice, it's interesting.
well, yeah, I guess all low voices can sound put upon if you imagine they're so.
Yeah. I don't know. It kind of does feel like I was watching. I forget exactly what I was watching, but they said that like people have there's something about the human psyche where like people ignore red flags and stuff. Like when people see something that they want or they want to be true, they ignore the red flags and they ignore the bad stuff about it.
That's how.
And I feel like I did that when I invested in Ryanair. Yeah, it's like a budget Irish airline. It's like a no frills budget shitty airline. Like it's so shitty you have to pay to use the toilet.
Oh
you
my
have
God,
to like
fuck
pay
off.
a euro.
Oh, man.
But it's like a cheap airline that people just use to fly around Europe. You know.
Got it.
Dude,
so
I
anyway,
wish somebody came here and sold you that. They're like, oh, you're going to love it. It's going to revolutionize the toilet industry on the airplane.
Oh, pay toilets.
Yeah, but it's just literally you looking up different stock numbers and you're like, well, that sounds good.
Well, it is because like when you start investing, you look at a balance sheet. Like, what the fuck is a balance sheet? You're just like, okay, how much cash do they have? You know, you don't really think about that stuff. And then like, so over the summer, right, there were Ryanair employees like sleeping on the floor of the airport. And then also there was some racist guy who was like, I'm not sitting next to this. He didn't want to sit next to a black lady. And they moved his seat instead of kicking him off the plane. They were like, I'm sorry. right this way. I totally understand, sir. Right this way. They like upgraded him to first class. Yeah, and, like, people were very mad.
Oh
and now
my god,
Ryanair stock is
that's so funny.
not good. Yeah.
Oh man.
They should have just kicked them off, right?
So people ignore red flags when they see something they want. I feel like that's the only explanation for why women date men. It's just like,
wow.
You gotta.
Hey, SallyAnn, are men shitty? That's such a cool observation.
No,
I've
but
never heard anybody
here's the
make
thing,
before.
because I like
There's plenty of
him
women.
too. I put him inside me all the time. Like you do weird things with things you hate. Like I'm just saying that, like, maybe that's an explanation.
Yeah.
The only red flag I like for an airline is like, do they discriminate against fat people? I'm on board. When I find out like a guy that takes up
you
2
never
seats,
struggle with your weight, you piece of shit.
Well,
Why do you tell it to my sister, you fucking asshole?
She doesn't take 2 seats.
Look my sister in the face and tell her
so
I
her
hate
body
fat
is
people.
acceptable to you as soon
Yeah.
as your body
Yeah, 'cause there's not
transgresses
2
a space
seats.
that you think should be your
You should
space.
have to buy 2 seats
right,
if you're
bitch.
using 2 seats.
I don't know. Why
This
don't
guy
you buy?
got wheeled in with a fucking wheelbarrow, and like I heard the flight attendant be like, "Oh, this is a full flight." And
What
that guy's
do
gonna
you
take
a
a
care?
wheel.
What do
wheelbarrow?
you
They're called
care?
wheelchairs. You garbage person.
This guy was wheelbarrowed in.
The guy
It
stopped
was a
you. Yeah,
special
yeah.
wheelchair for his weight.
That
It was
one that
like-
you
it
have
was
to
that
hoist with
big.
only one wheel. That makes no sense.
And you're mad. You're upset.
Physically.
You're upset by that. Why?
I just don't want to be in that seat or in that situation.
You're
where I have
upset.
to be
You're
like,
upset because some man is living his best life.
Yeah, you're mad that you don't get to eat, live
Listen,
your
a
dreams
lot of
like
people
that
are
guy.
going to be
Yeah.
on my side here. I don't know.
Honestly, if I could eat so much all day and have everyone wheel me around, I'm like, they figured it out. I don't know.
So
like-
what are you
it's
saying?
like
You're
WALL-E.
saying you don't want Monique on your plane, you piece of shit. Huh?
Monique
You
can
don't
afford
want-
a first class ticket.
You don't want Lizzo on your plane.
Oh,
He would
so-
have fit into a first class chair.
Oh, so you
but
just
he
hate
didn't
poor
sit-
fat people.
That's
Wow.
right. That's right.
Matt is the kind of guy who, like,
Oh.
he finally flies first class and he gets stuck next to like Precious, and he's like, "Yeah, excuse me, I don't know.
Could you move me
To Ryan Air,
over that
please?
way?
Could you move me to coach, please? I just
Honestly,
Oh, to coach.
yeah."
I like the idea of being repositioned in first class, but it's still right next to
Yeah.
Elizabeth Holmes.
Okay, so
I
another
have an
thing about her
interview here.
personality, they said she was kind of a bully,
I have
right?
a
Theranos was
video
very
here.
secretive.
It says
Fake voice. Let's
Elizabeth
hear it.
Holmes accidentally uses real voice. You guys ready for this shit?
Oh yeah.
Because we've heard her voice before, right? A kind of
She's got like an Eric Aspera quality to her.
I was saying Mia
If you
Faith
want-
This is what
Hammond.
happens when you work to change things.
Here's the fake
and
voice.
First they think you're crazy, then they fight you, and then all of a sudden you change the world. And I
putting
have to
ominous
say,
music behind
I personally was
a
shocked
good
to
YouTube
see
video.
that the Journal would
Sounds like Hank
publish
Hill.
something like this.
An employee.
She put a
joined the
banana
company
in her pants.
2011.
Just
had
show
a meeting
dominance.
with her shortly after he joined.
Come on, use the fake
It was
voice
late in
now.
the day, and
This is
they
cool.
were
This is a good
finishing
video.
up the meeting, and
It's a-
she sort of expressed her excitement that he had
Come on,
recently
use that fake
joined.
voice
and
now.
As she got up, she forgot to put on the baritone and slipped back into a more natural-sounding young
I hope it's a
woman's
baby
voice.
voice.
Was everything about Elizabeth
Oh,
Holmes
is it a guy talking about it? We
A
don't
lot
hear
of
it.
it was.
She was
here we
like,
go, here we
What's
go.
that? What's that voice? You sound like Matt Anderson.
Well, if I use traditional words to describe what we're doing,
okay,
it's
hold on,
hard
let's go back.
because-
That's still deep.
Wait.
No, it hasn't. Well, if I use traditional words to describe what
realized
we're
she
doing,
messed
it's hard
up.
because people then associate it with
No, it
conventional
hasn't.
processes.
Honestly, here's the
Realizing-
thing. I'm sorry. Like people, she probably was like, okay, maybe she's like trying to temper her voice and like preserve her image, but like, yeah, honestly, avoiding a high girlish voice is something that women just have to fucking do.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
really not like, it's just like, oh, to be taken seriously.
To be taken
She's
seriously in a
fucking
man's
19.
world.
Of course, she's fucking gonna probably make sure she doesn't sound like this all the time.
It
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
funny
Of
if she had like
you
a
can,
baby
well,
voice.
You can talk in any way you want while you're working for this company.
I'm gonna choose to
I want you to
talk
free- I'm
down
not- I
here
want-
in the least sexy
I
register.
want you to feel free to just use your voice freely.
Every time I'm around you, I get very like whatever Brooklyn. When I get like drunk or mad, or when I talk to Mike Recine, I'm like, "Fuck you talking about?" I get really. I've lived here 10 years.
Mike makes me talk up here. He says that only one alpha can be down there.
Yeah, and he has to sit-
That's what he said.
That's the cutest thing. Oh, I only talk up here because he makes me. So it's not. Don't worry, I'm not.
This isn't normal for me. I'm faking it.
No,
really.
I like how you're like, don't worry, it's not me being a pussy or anything. It's only because my boss said so.
he has to sit down to pee too when he's in my house.
Yeah, I like to stay true to
There's
the
a
name of the
camera.
podcast.
You're like R. Kelly. You're like, don't look at anyone. Look at the floor.
There's some neoliberal like startup company where it's like, do you want to make sure your employees are sitting down to pee when they come to when they use your bathroom? Check out Nest.
Yeah, we're revolutionizing.
You can monitor their bathroom habits on your phone.
Yeah.
Hey Matt, I noticed that you were standing up to pee at my house. Anyway, so I guess they say a thing about her was she was very charming, she was very charismatic, and she could convince people. She could convince people of stuff. Yeah. And they say Bernie Madoff was like that too. He was very he was charming, and it was like this is the kind of scam, right? Where it's like it doesn't seem like a get rich quick thing. It's like, yes, hello, a black turtleneck. I'm very serious. I'm serious about this technology. It's going to revolutionize, the way that we.
Yeah, this isn't like an app that does some weird, like, dumb thing. It's like health. It seems
like
legit.
health, right.
It's medical. Like, why would you say that you can revolutionize the health industry if you fucking can't?
Right.
Like, why would you do that?
It just, right. And it just seems like something that's like simple enough where it's like, oh, you just a finger prick instead of doing blood work. It's like simple enough.
Yeah.
Right. Where, yeah.
I feel like go ahead.
The benefits, but like just for that, like you were saying, like you see the benefits are so great because they're like, oh my gosh, this would save consumers so much money. This would save doctors. This would save everyone. This would take a lot. Amazing amounts.
It's like she started with the idea. She's like, what would people buy? And then let's go ahead and fucking sell that.
Yeah.
And then once you're like invested, because that kind of happened to me. I mean, like I found this like Canadian marijuana company. I found this Canadian marijuana company. And I was like, this is the best company. I said, I like the CEO. He has a kind face. He looks like somebody's dad. He looks like a friend's dad. That's cool. I was like, they pay their workers well. Their production costs are very low. Why don't we check out their stock?
Oh, you fucking socialist.
What?
Socialists, they pay their employees well.
No, but wouldn't that be a company you'd want to invest in? Someone that a place that takes care of the workers?
Oh, of course,
that means the workers are happy. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, but mostly I want to make
Bernie or bust, baby.
Dude, I want to invest in a company that can make me money. Like, why would I want to invest?
Yeah.
Because there's more to life than money.
But investing is literally about one thing.
I think you're in the right market, though. The weed stocks are going to be like huge. That's going to be like.
But it was overvalued when I invested in it. So
right.
Yeah.
The right market,
anyway,
though, for sure.
Please.
This is going to be like THC recovery drinks and like CBD recovery stuff. And
yeah, but I put $5,000 into this company.
Yeah.
Hopefully they.
Oh, you're serious?
Yeah.
Oh.
He doesn't joke about anything he's invested in.
Well, now it's about $2,000.
I don't know that people invest. I have like negative $10 in my name. I'm like, what am I going to invest in?
Mike has a little money in precious metals that he wears.
Is your portfolio diverse? Unlike your social life.
I guess. I mean, there's Ryanair, there's Afria,
there's that gold chain you bought.
There's another shitty company I invested in. Oh, actually, Under Armour did really well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
they're pretty good. Stephen Curry. I just said Stephen Curry like a.
So where Elizabeth Holmes now is she charged? She's being charged.
She's being charged. She faces up to 20 years in prison.
Yeah.
So she's awaiting trial.
And they're gonna have to send her to men's prison too for that voice.
And she's like, I was just kidding. Yeah. You're in a man's world now.
All right, motherfuckers.
But they said that the company was very like cultish. They said there was something about Theranos that like everybody was like into the leader, like pleasing the leader.
Yeah.
She had this like, and there was also another guy. This guy Sonny Armadi, or what is the guy? What was the guy's name?
Are you talking about her fiance? Or she like broke up the marriage in 2002.
Oh, now you're gonna blame her for being a homewrecker too?
Yeah, she was a homewrecker. I mean,
is that a feminist thing? You can't blame women for being a homewrecker.
No, because the guy.
But he's at blame as well.
Yeah, no, he is the only one at blame. He's the only one whose home it was.
Right.
Look, all I'm saying is
she's living her best life. That's all I'm saying.
Hey,
she's a young woman.
All I'm saying is keep your sexy Instagram stories with your feet out of my feed, okay? And I won't do anything.
You are asking for feet pics, aren't you? You're like, please, just don't send me feet pictures. That's the worst. I hate sexy feet.
Yeah,
don't paint your toenails and send that to me. No. I'd hate it.
Yeah, I thought I had a foot fetish for a second, and then I did a photo shoot today with my dog, and both the photographer, it was free, but both the photographers were just walking around with no shoes and socks, and I didn't get as turned on as I thought I would.
You didn't get as turned on as you thought?
Yeah.
So a little turned on still.
Well, it's funny that there's a part of a woman's body that like really turn you on, they don't know.
Right.
Because usually they cover up.
Well, here's the thing.
But
I feel like we know.
But when I see a
Yeah,
foot,
you could see a
Guys are
foot.
creepy.
You know, a girl
Yeah.
could be wearing a burqa and you could still see
so
a
you're
foot.
saying if a woman's barefoot around me, that means that
And you're staring at her
it
feet,
means
we can
it's-
tell what you're
it means
thinking.
it's on. Yeah. One thing that turns me on is a foot in an Instagram story. I think that's hot.
You saw my post about my broken toe, right? It was really
No, I
hot.
did not.
Oh, it's
No, I didn't.
disgusting.
Yo.
Also, I just want to talk.
I'm not even going to look at it because we're professionals in a
I'll send it to you.
working space.
So, but the thing that you touched on about the cult-like environment that she
Yeah.
cultivated,
Yeah.
that could be a potential. Like, what are the benefits of starting a fraudulent company besides the money, which obviously won't matter as soon as you're in jail? You know what I mean?
But
Yeah.
But then I'm like,
Well-
I think the power. I think she got addicted to being the boss.
she got addicted to pegging Bill Clinton.
No, oh my god, that sounds like the worst thing ever.
Well, I mean, like one of the benefits was like, you know, like you said, the power. She like compartmentalized the company. She modeled it after Apple, so like none of the workers knew what they were doing. If you're getting hired for the company, like you didn't know what your job was until you got hired. And then like they also hired this superstar lawyer, David Bolus.
That's the other thing, though. It just kind of goes to show you, like, this was a company that seemed like it was so legitimate. It had like James Mattis on the board,
board.
former Henry Kissinger, which I don't even know how she did that. She must have just had connections.
They got Walgreens money. They
But that's
got
the thing.
Safeway
It's just,
deals.
It's just stupid fucking rich people whose parents know people, and you're just able to con them.
Right.
And they know because
I mean,
they're just like,
conning the elderly is so easy.
well, here's the thing. You're like, I would know. Well, here's the thing. It's like,
Although I'll tell you, I was at my grandmother's house recently. And she got a notice. It said like, call here to claim your free gift card, and we like called together, and my grandma was like, yeah, I don't think so. I think this is a scam.
You called with her?
Yeah, I called with her.
You wanted to see if she was going to stop it?
He wanted the gift card.
Yeah. I was like, just give the lady your address, your social security number.
But it's the same fucking behavior that Billy fucking McFarlane had when he was like that club Magnesis, which my friend joined. Hilarious. Shout out Mary.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, how dumb was she's
Well,
like,
it's a heavy ass credit card.
like, it's a cool clubhouse, and I'm like, this is so
You're like,
stupid.
yeah.
And then she's like, but everyone here is just like dumb frat guys. So I can't.
That'll
know
be
shit.
$13.86, sir. It wasn't heavy. There we go.
It was very heavy.
Here's my credit card.
Oh my god. So mean.
Yeah.
Welcome to Chipotle. So just the burrito. Anything else? Nah, that's it. See this? It's heavy like my cock.
Oh boy.
Check these out. I made some business cards. Anyway, what was your point?
Oh yes, is that that they just get wrapped up in this whole like atmosphere, and they're like, well, as long as we like, they know that just success is the illusion of success, and having successful people around that is like fundamental. So when they're like, nothing's gonna happen, he's like, look around, we've already succeeded. Like,
Right.
what are you talking about?
Right.
They're like, he's not like, I think she was like genuinely in denial about the end goal.
Yeah, because it's almost like at that point, there's no need to like do anything else. Because look where we are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
seriously.
And she like had like everybody sign NDAs when they came in, and just crazy
Well, she
secretive
sounded
shit
like she
like
knew
that.
how to protect herself in case things went south, which I mean, obviously she didn't because she was dumb.
Well, none of this stuff can last forever, I guess. But you know, she kept it going for a while.
Well, it's like-
it's impressive.
It's
how many
crazy
years?
that like 2003 to like 2016 is when the article came out in 2015, and that's the downfall when people actually started looking into their results.
Right.
But like, it's insane to me that
She raised
like,
almost $1 billion, right, from investors. Or I think
she's
the
worth
company's valued.
$5.4 billion.
That's crazy.
And that's what's crazy is like she could go to jail for 5 years or 10 years or whatever it is and still be a billionaire.
But
It's like
Is
defrauding
that
all these
true? I
people.
thought her company's not worth anything.
It isn't
about
anymore, but like her net worth is $5.4 billion. Maybe it's
How
lower
did she
than
just
that.
keep $5.4
I don't
billion,
think-
though?
I mean, she
It's
had a
defunct-
salary.
Yeah, but it's a
She still had a salary.
Yeah, but what
And
do you,
also,
what
maybe
do you
she's
think her
not a
salary
billionaire.
would be? What do you think her salary would be?
Yeah, I suppose you're right. That's probably
and
mostly
also all the
half
people
of the company
suing
shares.
her after her. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, yeah.
she's not gonna have any fucking money.
Google it.
company-
Google Elizabeth Holmes' net worth.
Right now. Yeah, I got it.
We
All right.
have to wrap in a little bit, but what's the main takeaway from this, guys?
You want a good lawyer to threaten everybody, and then you'll get exactly what you
I
want.
think the takeaway is that if you are a shitbag, you can be a man or a woman. It's
Right.
just as likely, but
Women are
but
just
women
as-
have to lower their voice to pretend to be the shitbag that men are.
They make a movie about it. She's like, oh,
I almost got away with it. If it wasn't for the, in the end, we just got real greedy.
Oh my god! Like, don't lean in, ladies.
it just goes to show you that women are just as corruptible and capable of bad things as men are.
And that's all I've ever tried to say.
That's why we need Bernie Sanders, baby.
Elizabeth Warren's cool too.
Yeah, she's cool.
She paid us. She paid an investigation settlement fee with the SEC for $500,000 in 2018.
Are you talking about Elizabeth Holmes?
Yeah, so it's safe to say that she isn't sitting anywhere near $4.5 billion that she once was of the Forbes article that I was referencing.
But now she has a cool thing to frame and to put on her wall. A Forbes article. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think she still gets some of that money. I mean, if you're smart with your money and you go to jail and stuff, you could put a lot of that away.
I'm sure she's hid plenty.
You know what I mean?
What's the big takeaway from this, guys?
If you're into time travel, you're gonna steal shit from people later.
An AIDS test costs a little bit more than one drop of blood.
Sure does.
You know.
All right, so we gotta wrap up. Let's talk about our boy Liam Neeson a little bit, though.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
That was a very funny story.
Yeah, I bought this paper for that. Oh, did you get a chance to see this
I
yet?
just saw a headline.
Oh, it's great.
Oh, they were like, so tell us about your new movie. And he was like, one time I wandered the streets looking for a black person to kill. I don't know why I'm telling you this.
So the story, long story short, his friend told him about being raped by somebody. He's like, do you know who did it? And she said, no. And he's like, do you know what color they were? And she said, black. So then like he just spent like multiple weeks wandering around with like a club waiting to get into a fight with a black guy at night.
Which I just want to say, I have been in that same position. I used to date a girl when she was 19. Some guys took her in Boston. 2 guys took her to the park and they raped her in a gang initiation. And she was like a virgin. She was like a virgin, like college sophomore. That's how she lost her virginity. And I didn't do that. I didn't wander the streets of Bed-Stuy.
Well, because they weren't black.
No, they were.
They were black.
What, gang? What do you think it was? The fucking Jets from West Side Story?
Oh, I'm sorry.
What other? Sally, what other
poor
people?
friend's misfortune.
What other people do shit like that?
Oh my god.
There's only one race of people that behaves that way, and it's blacks.
Most of my friends have only been raped by white guys. I'm so sorry.
Is that true?
Yeah,
Of course.
Shut up. Of course.
Or white guys in blackface. West Side Story.
White guys in blackface.
West Side Story. And some of them a lot of music. For me, it was a musical theater guy. So
The worst
all
part
checks
about
out.
it was he was wearing blackface the whole time.
Dude.
he was dressed up as I don't know. Anyway,
dude, this article is great though
person.
because like it says like he's like horrible thing when I think back, and I've never actually admitted that, God forbid, but then his co-star's just
I've never
holy
admitted
shit.
until now when it's being recorded in the social media age where nothing's
in
secret.
front of a journalist.
Yeah, I think the problem is like these movie stars are they're surrounded by yes people all the time, and they don't know. No one ever says, "Hey, don't say that."
Oh well, also, and then they're just kind of like, blah, 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 and anything that they say offhand, obviously, is like, well, I mean, this is obviously a very like if I heard this offhand by anyone, I'd be like, what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
What? Of course,
Yeah.
But
Considering the time, I'm not like super angry at him. It sounds like he's learned his lesson.
do you
He
mean
knows
you're not-
it's wrong.
yeah, but for saying
Yeah,
considering
that's
the time,
that's
fine, but
wacky
for
that he
saying
said
that,
it in
it's
the middle
fucking
of an
crazy.
interview. Yeah,
no,
you're
but
right.
for doing it, for wandering the streets with a club looking for a random black person.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
that's
angry
pretty
about.
crazy,
The admitting it, I'm like, thanks, I guess.
Well,
for me.
because you hear some people being like, he's being honest about his past, but it's like I feel like black
Yeah, that is
people.
true.
Let me speak for all black people. I mean, black people know that that's happened before. Like black people get lynched for doing nothing.
Right.
It's like
So it's like, it's good to say it, but like
That almost
has
sounds
been-
like
but
some,
I'm glad that people
This
are
has
getting
been
mad,
woke
so
Mike
it's
Recine.
not normalized.
yeah.
That's what's weird for people to go, oh well, it's like no, let's
Yeah,
not do
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you stop and think about it, he was out there with like an actual club, like swinging it
No,
around.
like that's
club,
how
yeah.
how
Right.
many Black lives have ended.
Yeah.
With and then so for him to be like, oh,
I love that-
looking back on my mistake, it's like, no, fuck you. What if you had found one? Thank God you were. Where was he? Ireland.
I love that I told SallyAnn that story about the gag initiation rape, and she was like, wasn't sure what. She didn't have a clear mental picture of who these people were.
Idaho and Alaska.
We had just a bunch of rowdy teens.
We had a gang problem in Alaska.
Yeah. They were like, da-da-da, da-da-da. We're gonna find
Jesus
we're gonna go to the park. They're like singing and dancing. Tonight I'm fucking horny. Yeah. Anyway, should we wrap up?
That sounds kind of like a little bit of that the Jewish and Palestinian thing where they'll like, you know, when Palestinians they'll just go kill Palestinians.
Here we go. Look at it. We got a fucking
It's just
scholar
like a
over
price
here, folks.
tag for like
Oh, look,
the
foreign
terrorism.
policy expert Matt Anderson.
But anyway, you can read about it. It's a Vice article or something.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Great source.
Check it out.
We got to wrap up. I got to go do a show.
Okay.
You want to ride to the city?
Do you want to plug anything first?
Oh yeah, come see me. Headline Caroline's February 20th, and there's going to be a lot of man-hating stuff. So you're welcome, Mike.
Awesome. I have a Twitch channel where I play Fortnite, and some of the fans have started to find it. It's really funny. Some of the reviews for the podcast have been like, the podcast is really just a warm up for Matt's Twitch, so it's kind of funny. So I'm doing that. It's called Fat Man Anderson, and Mike, send us away.
Thanks for listening. Support us on Patreon, Sit Down Pod. Follow us on Instagram at Sit Down Pod, or at Sit Down Pod, Twitter at Sit Down Pod, and
Share it with your friends.
Share it with your friends. Tell your friends. Thanks for listening. We got to be listener funded, guys. So kick us a few bucks, please. We're not having ads anytime soon. We need you. Thanks. Bye bye. Love you.